2025, an in-depth look at Meghan Markle's most humiliating year. Hey guys, so I know that you probably watched some of my interviews recently with Tom Bauer, author of Revenge, who's releasing a brand new book in March of 2026. And this isn't like a continued version of Revenge, like Revenge plus some. It's a brand new book full of everything post Revenge and what Harry and Meghan have been up to lately. And in the spirit of that, one of the last times I sat down with him, I built this timeline. I'd say highs and lows, but we're primarily dealing with the lows here. Okay. So you're going to hear about some of those events again. We're going to rehash a lot of what we rehashed over the last 12 months. Why? Because this is what I do. This is literally my job. This is my beat, the Harry and Meghan beat. And every day I'm talking about the latest scandal, the latest drama, the latest fail. And those fails have increased with Meghan's willingness to give us access to her over things like social media, over her reality show. You know, having covered her for several years now around the clock, I would say that 2025 professionally is one of the worst years for her. Does it compete with the loss of Spotify? In a way, yes, because I think she lost Netflix. I've seen that in it hasn't been blatant, but I've seen it in multiple examples. For instance, Meghan appearing in an Amazon MGM film. Why would she not make a cameo in a Netflix series? Meghan and Harry appearing on a Hulu special. Why would they do that and not give that special access to Netflix, considering the amount of money Netflix has given them previously, just as a show of loyalty? Um, so I do think that we had a similar loss this year financially, but not in the same humiliating way that Spotify, ooh, Bill Simmons and Spotify did. Effing grifters is what he called them. But we're going to go through this timeline together. I'm probably going to go off script a couple of times because I'm going to have a random memory of something that it reminds me of or something else we covered. So put on your seatbelts. But let's jump into January 1st, right? Meghan made a surprise return to Instagram with a post of herself on a California beach, slow motion, Baywatch style. She's going to write 2025 for the 15th time because we can see how she's rehearsed it all over the place. However, it wasn't much of a surprise because Meghan had been holding on to that @ handle and creeping around Instagram for years. Perhaps she was trolling. Who knows? She teased her return in The Cut back in 2022, saying she might return to Instagram. Like, I have a secret. I might return to Instagram. Okay. It's not a secret if you tell somebody that's going to publish it in a magazine. This was a bit of a PR nightmare that I don't think blew up in her face as much as honestly it should have. Because royal watchers thought the announcement was an incredibly poor taste, having discovered that one of Archie's godparents and Harry's former nanny, who he was incredibly close to, he could not wait to introduce Meghan to Tiggy Pettifer, aka Leg Burke. Her stepson was murdered just hours earlier. Edward Pettifer died in a New Orleans terror attack on the exact same day that Meghan goes Instagram live. He was one of 14 people killed when a man drove a truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street. Pettifer was visiting the city with a friend when the incident occurred. And the Prince and Princess of Wales said that they were shocked and saddened by the death of Edward. They released a statement. Harry and Meghan chose not to comment, but it just felt so vulgar and inappropriate that knowing that Tiggy had just lost her stepson and was probably experiencing one of the worst days of her life, that's when Meghan decides to go all in on social media. She wants all the attention. She wants all the headlines. And Tiggy had to sit back and scroll and see that stuff, which makes your heart kind of hurt. And thank goodness the Prince and Princess of Wales stepped up and talked about how devastated they were for Tiggy about that loss. Again, we believe this is Archie's godparent. But why would a terror attack, multiple, by the way, in the United States on January 1st, why would that affect Meghan Markle's reintroduction to social media, something she campaigns against constantly. That's just silly. That's silly for us to think that way. On January 11th, this is a day that will go down in infamy as the day the Sussexes earned their most appropriate nickname, disaster tourists. After using the embers of the Eaton fire as their personal photo op, actress Justine Bateman tweeted, Meghan Markle and Harry are no better than ambulance chasers. What a repulsive photo op they achieved. They are touring the damage. Are they politicians now? They don't live here. They are tourists, disaster tourists. Later, a podcaster that I listened to revealed that his family was volunteering at the same time Harry and Meghan showed up. And they were told to stand down from the good work that they were doing so Harry and Meghan could get a private tour of the damage by the mayor. What a waste of resources, allegedly. But I will tell you that locals were super annoyed and angry about that. That, it wasn't just Justine Bateman. There were a lot of people that thought it was inappropriate and self-serving. The videos and pictures of them, it just all felt very intentional. January 12th, it was reported that Meghan asked Netflix to delay the premiere of her new series, With Love, Meghan, because of wildfires in the Los Angeles area. Insiders have argued that this was actually Netflix's directive, but they allowed Meghan to take credit for it without a fuss. January 17th, Vanity Fair's piece titled American Hustle is published. Some of the most damaging allegations. The article claimed that Harry and Meghan's transition from royalty to U.S. entrepreneurs involved major challenges, legal, financial, reputational, personal, that they may have underestimated. On a personal level, some of their community in Montecito reportedly viewed them as local villains, resenting the attention they drew and saying that the couple moved away from England to get away from the scrutiny, and all they do is try to get press here in the United States. Former employee accounts of a toxic work environment, warm start, cold turn, undermining, throwing people to the wolves, and emotional distress were widely cited as proof that rumors of Meghan as a bully were real. Some reports said that people who worked with her needed therapy or quit after very short stints, which we'll talk about here later when we get to the month of October. Reports of high turnover and frustration among people who worked with them suggested internal instability and disarray at their media and production ventures. The depiction of their media ambitions, such as their podcast deal, Netflix linked projects, and brand launches, as overhyped and failing to deliver, has fueled, that is so relevant to today still, has fueled narratives that the couple overestimated their appeal or ability to translate royal fame into lasting media success. Some sources in the Vanity Fair piece portrayed Harry as a lost soul, someone disconnected from purpose, with unclear direction beyond supporting charitable causes. Critics use this as evidence to argue that the couple's post-royal life lacks the cohesion or seriousness they had promised, a life of service. And according to Vanity Fair, there was a rumor circulating around the book world that Meghan's team once approached a publishing house to gauge interest in a book about a hypothetical divorce from Prince Harry. I still can't believe that passed legal. On February 4th, Meghan the Martyr announces that she's recruited her dear friend Adam Levine of Maroon 5 to get Billie Eilish merchandise to send to a victim of the Palisades fire. Because who doesn't name drop and document every good deed for social media? With a new show on the horizon, critics chalked this video up to self-promotion with a side of shameless name dropping. February 8th, this week, Harry and Meghan attended the Invictus Games in Canada, and Meghan left early. But critics thought it was the right move after a few awkward moments like, Meghan moving a veteran's wheelchair for a photo op without their permission. Some veterans have referred to Meghan as a distraction when it comes to the games. Harry really wants her there, but my sources say that Meghan is not as welcome by leadership. February 18th, Meghan announced via Instagram that American Riviera Orchard would be renamed As Ever, citing that the original name felt too restrictive and that this pivot coincided with her Netflix show. She blatantly ignored that trademark war. She had wasted millions of dollars on trying to secure American Riviera Orchard. RO had entered the pop culture directory a year ago. This was such a professional failure and waste of brand recognition. March 4th, With Love Meghan officially premiered on Netflix. It briefly spent time in the top 10, but found its greatest success in the form of parody on TikTok. I'm sorry, but gay men do Meghan Markle better than Meghan Markle. The show was lame. The guests were lame. My only takeaway, I'm Meghan Sussex now. To try to silence her critics, Meghan disingenuously announced getting picked up for a second season that had already been filmed along with the first season. There was also a severe lack of As Ever products on display or even available for purchase. This was a missed opportunity for Meghan and her partners at Netflix. March 6th, Meghan made a cringeworthy appearance on the Drew Barrymore show to promote With Love Meghan. Drew was one Sussex name drop away from tongue kissing the domestic duchess. Sources later told Radar Online that despite the theatrics, Meghan had approved all of the questions in advance. How authentic. Authenticity. It's so important. March 13th, Meghan announced a new podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. It was to launch April 8th, and it focused on conversations with women who founded different companies. This was her way to redeem herself after the termination of her Spotify contract, but this podcast would be nowhere near as successful as Archetypes. The morbid curiosity was wearing off. April 2nd, the first collection of As Ever products went live. Items sold out. Meghan took a victory lap. Then customers started complaining that their products didn't exist. They never got them. Meghan's team sent apology emails and offered refunds. April 28th, in her most catastrophic interview to date, this and Oprah Winfrey, I just don't know. Meghan sat down with makeup entrepreneur Jamie Kern Lima. In the conversations, she said she was done with the prove it game, referring to societal and social media pressures to prove her worth as a public figure. Tell that to the Meghan that sat down with Bloomberg and Fortune this year. She admitted to having a nanny. We hear she employs multiple nannies. She also claimed she emailed her kids every night. She used the word yet a lot, the power of yet, and told us Harry loves her so much. The conversation came across as overly performative, self-congratulatory, and tone deaf. The internet loved it. If you haven't heard of beef tallow before, it's simply rendered beef fat. And before you think, wait, beef fat in skincare? Stay with me. My mom loves this, by the way. My mom is like, no, it's great. Beef tallow is actually packed with skin-loving nutrients and fatty acids that mimic your skin's natural barrier. That means it keeps your skin hydrated, smooth, and calm without all the toxic synthetic stuff and fillers in most moisturizers. And that's exactly what Amalo is built around. They've taken this old school time-tested ingredient, something our ancestors used for generations as a natural moisturizer and healer, and brought it back in the cleanest, most thoughtful way possible. Amalo is a small family-owned business making everything right here in the U.S. Each batch is handmade with grass-fed, grass-finished beef tallow and organic essential oils. No unnecessary additives. Just pure, effective skincare that works with your skin, not against it. And honestly, that's what makes Amalo so great. It's all about simplifying your skincare routine. Getting back to basics, using ingredients your skin actually understands. It's clean, it's natural, and it actually works. So if you're ready to make the switch, head to amalo.com/Kinsey and use code Kinsey15 for 15% off your order. April 29th, Jamie Kern Lima posted a gift from Meghan on social media that caused quite a stir. Meghan sent a gift basket to Jamie with a card signed HRH, the Duchess of Sussex, which sparked controversy because she and Prince Harry had agreed not to use their HRH titles publicly after stepping down as working royals. The gift, reportedly sent about a year before it became public, included homemade jam and ice cream, subtly promoting Meghan's upcoming business venture. Critics argue that this ultimately violates the Sandringham Agreement. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. June 4th, Meghan shared such a bizarre and unflattering video of herself twerking in a hospital room that most of my royal expert colleagues and I thought it was AI. It was so lame and cringe. And it told us everything we needed to know about her. This is not a woman who values privacy. She thrives on attention, even if that attention is negative. June 10th, Brooke Shields reflected on her South by Southwest panel appearance with Meghan during a conversation with friend India Hicks, who also happens to be King Charles III's goddaughter. In the now deleted podcast episode, Shields said Meghan came across as too precious when retelling childhood stories about advocating for women, including the well known anecdote about writing to a dish soap company at the age of 11 over a sexist commercial. Shields contrasted Meghan's self described early activism with her own childhood spent playing a prostitute in Pretty Baby, joking about the stark difference. The interview has since disappeared from the internet, with the original link now redirecting to a page not found notice. July 1st, Meghan launched her first Napa Valley Rosé wine, on which is Princess Diana's birthday. I reported that Prince William and those close to him found this very insensitive, considering the fact that, according to an autopsy report, Princess Diana died at the hands of a drunk driver. But why would Meghan Markle care? Why would Meghan Markle let that interrupt her day or her launch? I mean, how many examples do we have this year alone of Meghan Markle not caring that her behavior is insensitive? We haven't even reached peak insensitive with Meghan's feet on the seat as she passes the tunnel, but we'll get there, okay? August 6th, the Sentebale scandal is in full swing. Dr. Sophie Shandaka made headlines with claims that her dispute with Prince Harry began in April 2024 when she refused his team's request to publicly defend Meghan Markle after a video went viral of Meghan moving Sophie out of a photo position. Sophie refused, telling the Telegraph that she wouldn't because she knew it would set a precedent that the charity became an extension in a way of the Sussex's public relations efforts. I think she called it the Sussex PR machine. She later accused both Harry and Meghan of unpleasant and bullying behavior, leading Prince Harry to resign from his charity. There was an investigation, and they said while they did not find specific signs of bullying, they said we actually don't even investigate individual claims of bullying. It was just culturally that they investigated it. So I don't think that report within itself jeopardizes Dr. Sophie Shandaka's testimony or her version of events, because basically the report says we look at the charity culturally, the environment. We don't investigate specific claims of bullying. So when Harry and Meghan come back and say they didn't find any bullying, the report within itself meant universally, not a specific claim, which is the case here with Dr. Sophie Shandaka. August 15th, Meghan, who promises that the love is in the details, misses a pretty important detail while promoting her shortbread cookies on an Instagram video. She misses the worm crawling across her cookie plate. That's one way to elevate your offerings. No, thank you. Ugh. August 26th, the second season of With Love, Meghan premieres on Netflix. It immediately bombs. And despite campaigning to protect children from cyberbullies, Meghan features America's favorite cyberbully on the show, Chrissy Teigen, who infamously told a teenage girl to go off herself on social media. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's unreal, the bad decisions that these people are making, okay? This holiday, while others are chasing the rush, find your sense of calm with Peak. Peak is a luxury wellness brand powered by rare plants and cutting-edge ingredients, offering the perfect remedy for the season's hustle and bustle. And they have been so good to us this year. So if you are curious, please check them out. You won't regret it. Their science-backed botanicals, minerals, and vitamins support metabolic function, immune health, sustained energy, and radiant skin. hydration. In this festive season, choose serenity as the ultimate luxury with Peak. One of their newest essentials, the Deep Hydration Protocol, is a day to night electrolyte system that keeps your body and skin hydrated while promoting better sleep, made without sugar, fillers, or artificial flavors, and crafted with natural ingredients for a clean, spa like taste you can feel good about. Daily use supports hydration, glowing skin, improved sleep, and sustained energy. That is why I love it. I love to start my day with BT Fountain. That's their beauty electrolyte, the multitasker your beauty routine has been missing. It floods my system with hydration. It leaves my skin as bright as my Christmas tree. And bonus, it keeps my energy high long after the coffee buzz fades. Feel the holiday magic and unlock your healthiest glow with the most exciting offer of the season, 20% off site wide for life, plus a complimentary exclusive holiday bundle. Go to peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. This is hydration redefined. Try it and glow from the inside out. August 31st, it was reported she would not accompany Prince Harry on his upcoming UK trip because it wasn't safe for her. Believe we'll get there in a second. September 22nd, Prince Harry and Meghan appeared in a Disney special titled The Happiest Story on Earth, 70 Years of Disneyland. What the hell was one of America's most unpopular couples doing on there? A couple not known for family values or unity. Meghan, how's Thomas Markle doing? Likely fulfilling a contractual obligation months after a bizarre influencer post from Meghan located at Disneyland, shilling the faceless children. Meghan gushed about how much fun they'd had there. It was a very out of character post on her social media. Critics also questioned how committed the pair were to Netflix while now appearing on competitor Hulu's streaming platform. October 7th, Meghan, made a high profile appearance at Paris Fashion Week, where Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint and where Princess Diana literally died. While the UK isn't safe enough for Meghan, Paris seems to be. She also made headlines by shooting a video of her feet resting on the seat past the tunnel Diana died in. Who does that? Meghan claimed she was in Paris to support a brand she was collaborating with. Thanks to the cut, we found out that Meghan simply invited herself to the Balenciaga show. How humiliating. October 8th, Meghan's jam making skills were questioned after she was photographed professionally holding canned tongs upside down. Her team also chose to publish said photo as a call to action to buy her loose fruit spread. This was described as an authenticity crisis and a powerful metaphor for the yawning void at the heart of Meghan's brand and image, according to the Royalist. October 14th, at the Fortune Most Powerful Women Summit in Washington, D.C., Meghan, with her bag that's with the DS on it for Duchess of Sussex, called 2025 a year of learns, as she discussed evolving formats for her lifestyle brand as ever, and teased short form content drops to distract from the fact that Netflix was no longer offering her the lucrative contracts they once were. On October 24th, Meghan lost yet another publicist. We're talking about in that Vanity Fair piece, them burning through people. And here we are at the end of the year, still burning through people. Her 10th in 5 years after her latest hire resigned 3 months into the role. Emily Robinson, a former senior director of publicity for Netflix, who previously worked on The Crown, was appointed as director of communications in June to oversee media strategy for Harry and Meghan, but mysteriously left in October. October 30th, Prince Harry and Meghan were booed on the Jumbotron at Dodgers Stadium during Game 4 of the World Series. Dodgers lost, by the way, jinx. This very public appearance was in the middle of chaos surrounding Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and was seen as a betrayal by some baseball fans in Canada who'd seen multiple pictures of Meghan Markle in a Blue Jays cap online. And then Harry rooting for the Dodgers while his father is king of Canada. Harry later offered a very half-assed apology, basically saying, hey, the tickets were free from the Dodgers side, telling us everything we need to know about their complete lack of loyalty. November 11th, Photogate enters the chat. The Kardashian photos of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party were deleted off social media, allegedly to avoid negative press. LOL. Good luck. Sources suggested that Harry and Meghan wanted the photos removed because the party was so close to Remembrance Day in the UK. Try not partying so close to Remembrance Day. I feel like it's so simple. Also, I still think Meghan is secretly collaborating with Kris Jenner. If you haven't seen my Kardashian Sussex coverage over the last few years, search for it on the Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered YouTube page because I have been saying this for years now that this collaboration is happening. And I mean, their presence at that birthday party, they were there for a reason, even if they tried to hide it. You know what I'm saying? November 19th, Meghan later called this Harper's Bazaar cover a mic drop moment. And in As Ever newsletter, not really. We reported weeks ago that Meghan was seen talking to someone from Harper's at Paris Fashion Week, and we anticipated a cover, but we probably had higher expectations than the morgue photo that inevitably graced the front. This highly controlled and boring profile featured one detail that captured the entire world's attention. The fact that this woman demands being announced in a room with no one in it as a duchess. It's the most incredible detail, and Meghan's team must hate what it's become. Literally, it's the only thing anyone talks about when it comes to this piece. Nobody goes, did you read about Meghan's reaction to the Rodney King riots? Absolutely not. They said, do you know that this girl insists on being called a duchess when nobody's there? I've heard so many people say this to me, and I'm like, I know. Good Lord. What is she smoking? Can I have a toke? You know, it's wild. It is wild. November 20th, in the latest With Love Meghan holiday celebration preview, Meghan donned an emerald green gown. According to reports, but I have to give a shout out to Meghan's mole here because I feel like she instigated this. It was allegedly the same dress that Meghan wore during a 2022 Variety photo shoot. I feel like I can confidently say it was, but I'm talking in legal lingo here, okay? But I feel like it's the exact same dress. Sources have now accused her of stealing it, but Meghan's camp claim they keep all items pulled for photo shoots for Meghan's royal archive. I can see it now. The Meghan Markle Museum of Tolerance. So brave, so much beige. Palace officials laughed at this response, insisting royals don't take, they purchase, while offering the friendly reminder that Meghan is no longer a working royal, so an archive for her is beyond unnecessary. And you heard Dickie Arbiter tell us right here, former press secretary to the late Queen Elizabeth and King Charles III, Meghan's not a working royal. She doesn't require a royal archive. That is baloney. November 30th, Meghan Markle was officially dubbed Salmonella Sussex after she shared a cooking video to Instagram preparing a raw Thanksgiving turkey, still wearing jewelry without gloves. She was trying to position herself as an expert all year long, okay? All year long, she's telling us she's the second coming of Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow. That is why people complain about her hair dangling all over the food and her not removing her jewelry when preparing a meal. Bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli can live in the tiny crevices of metal, stones, and settings if you wear them in the kitchen. Can you blame people for asking her to be a little more responsible? I mean, I have completely skipped over the person that threatened to sue Meghan Markle over burns in the bathtub over her With Love Meghan season 1 bath salts. Okay. I should have included that. I failed you. But this is another example of that. Girl, take your jewelry off, wear some gloves, be hygienic. For the love of God, we don't ask for much from you. Truly, we have very low expectations. And as the year comes to an end and Harry and Meghan find themselves sandwiched around P. Diddy, accused sex trafficker, for Ranker's most disliked celebrities in the world, Meghan Markle's holiday special premieres this week. The holidays, they're notorious for surrounding yourself with your loved ones. Will she use the opportunity to finally reunite with the father that put her through school and helped her land her first few acting gigs? Will she acknowledge her half siblings that literally share her DNA? Her sister looks like a blonde version of her. Will she show us her invisible children? Will she support a cancer charity to honor her in-laws? Probably not. But she's apparently really good with wrapping paper. All right, what did I miss? You know I did. Agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. I think this is the worst year of her life professionally. And I think she's so delusional that she has no idea. Like, she's just psyched. She's on the cover of Harper's Bazaar and she's still trying to get Vogue on the phone to see if she can convince them to give her her next cover. I think she's out of her mind, allegedly, in my opinion. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Kinsey Schofield.